Hello and happy Thursday. I'm here to share with you the Gilded Leafing product in the mini, or I shouldn't call it a mini catalog, but the January to June mini catalog. And this is the Gilded Leafing. So it creates this awesome gold look in between the cracks, kind of like grout. That's the word I'm looking for. So to be able to see that, oh, I forgot to change my volume, so I'm sorry about that. All right, so we have the Gilded Leafing here that I wanted to share with you how to use it, because it can go everywhere. And I haven't had that problem myself, but I have heard that it can go everywhere, and it's staticky, and especially this time of year when it's a little bit dry. So I'm going to share how I created this card here, and using the tailored tag punch with some designer series paper. So stick around. I have a different idea that I'm going to share here in a minute. So that's the card we're going to create. And then the art gallery stamp set is what we're going to use. That's what was used to stamp the flowers and the happy birthday. So this is very versatile stamp set that congratulations, I miss you, happy birthday, good luck, sorry, thank you, best wishes, you are lovely, and I'm thinking of you. So lots of sentiments, and you can use the Gilded Leafing stamping with these. And I'm not going to share that tonight, but that is a tip that you can use the heat and stick powder to stamp in Versamark and then do heat and stick powder and then use that with the Gilded Leafing. So that's one way. I'll do that another time, but I wanted to do something a little different tonight to show how I did this one. And then the Fine Art Floral Designer Series paper in the mini catalog. It can be found, oops, I thought I had it written down. So it can be found on pages 32 and 33 of the January to June mini catalog. So it is gorgeous. It's like they used oil paints. It could have been acrylics. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But to paint the designer series paper. So this paper here, this is a sample of all the sheets. So this is one side, this is the other. So I love this one here. Even though I'm not a pink person, I love how this card turned out. I'm not a fan of pink. But the colors are so saffron and the flirty flamingo, and that's blushing bride, but petal pink is mixed in here too. So you'll see here I've just punched out all the colors that coordinate with this pack of designer series paper. So there's quite a bit that you can do to match the colors to the paper. All right, so I chose this colors, the So Saffron and Flirty Flamingo, for that. This one card I'm going to do tonight uses this sheet of designer paper. So it's this one here at the bottom, and the back side is this brushed blue. So it's like Coastal Cabana, Bermuda Bay, some pool party, and then this side has the bumblebee and the whisper white, and I think that's supposed to be Night of Navy, but it almost looks like a teal color in there, and then Poppy Parade, and I think that's Petal Pink, and some Mango Melody. So there's lots of colors in this pack, or in this piece. So what I've done is, using the tailored tag punch, which is my favorite punch, I have all the punches we have, I've used this sheet of paper, I've cut it to 1 3/4. That is the perfect size to punch. And it doesn't matter which side you punch on, but just punch a whole strip of them. So then you end up with a whole bunch of these. And then you can decide which side you'd like to use when you're laying them out. So what you'll need for this card is your card base. So I'm going to use Coastal Cabana. So my card base here. Hi, Lisa. And I already have it scored and folded in half. So you start with half a sheet of 8.5 by 11. So that you have a 5.5 by 8.5 sheet, and then just score it. And then I have adhesive sheets. That is the trick for this card. So it comes in this pack. There's 12 sheets in the pack, and you can use it with dies, so put in the back of your cardstock before die cutting. Use it for this technique and for lots of other ideas as well, where you can put cardstock on and then stick it down. So that's really nice and easy. So I've cut my adhesive sheet to 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And I found that if you, I'm just going to take this out here. The sheet here, so the side that's completely not scored or cut at all, that is not the backing. That's the part you pull off. The part that has the sticky side is, I don't know if you can see those lines, but that here, that strip is where the sticky part is on. So I found it was easier. I had cut it this way before to make this card, and you had to put 3 strips down to cover the whole card piece. So what I did tonight was I cut it at 4, which ends up getting right at that cut line, which is perfect. So these are about 2 inches roughly. And then I cut at 5 1/4. So you have only 2 strips. So I'm going to show you how to put that on. So here's my 5 1/4 by 4 inch. So then you pull this off. So this is not sticky at all. This is the part that's sticky. So see, it's kind of sticking to my fingers. And it just kind of rolls off. And then you want to put that down, starting at the edge. And you do want to make sure that you cover the whole thing. So if you do have a big gap, you'll want to cut another little piece off of here to stick down. Because I ended up having to do that here, just so that I'd have enough stickiness. And then you'll want to take your bone folder or something else that you have to kind of score that, not really score it, but transfer the stickiness, the adhesive sheet, to your cardstock. All right, now the fun part is you get to pull off, where's my tweezers? You get to pull off the backing. So see all that sticky? See, I have a little hole, so I'm going to have to fill that. So obviously I didn't score it enough. So we'll just, like so. And we'll just do a little bit of a trim with some scissors here. Maybe not. Let's do a full length. Let go. So I'll just do like 1/2 or 1/4 inch, I mean. And just trim that up. And then peel. So if you just fold over the corner, it will come off. And one side will be sticky and the other side won't. And then you can just stick that down here, score it a bit, pull up, and you've covered it. And you won't ever notice what's going on with it later. All right, so a trick for you if you're going to copy what I'm doing is I cut another 4 1/4 by, or 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. So that way I could lay it out and make sure I was happy with it. So these are just pieces I just quickly punched out. So it will look a little different from this one. So you can play around with it on where everything will lie. But we're going to stick this one down first, I think. And kind of get it straightish. We'll put this one down here. And we're going to leave maybe a 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch or something like that in between them. And you're just going to pull these down and fill in the holes, leaving that gap in between. So you don't need to put any other adhesive on because this will have all the adhesive you need. And then just push down on them. So that they stick. And if the spacing's off a little bit, it's not too big of a deal. You're wanting to make sure that it's all covered. The whole front is covered with gaps showing. So then take this piece here, like so. And like there. Now you could do it all the same design if you'd like. Then you'd have to be a little bit more fussy on how it looks. Now, I'm going to have to do 2 more pieces, because I forgot. Up here, I think what I'll do is I'll trim off the ends here, and then I probably won't have to cut anymore. Alright, so once you have most of the pieces on there, you want to pick a side, kind of line up those pieces so you can cut them off. So you have an edge. And see, those are my pieces I want. So I'm going to use them. Use this one here. I just need a little bit. And this one here. There we go. And now I have my straight edge here. So I'm just peeking through my punched items. I think you can see that. Oops. Just push those off to the side. So now I have my straight edge up there. Oops, my finger's getting stuck. There we go. Get rid of all the little pieces. There we go. Now that one was a little bit not close enough, so let's just fix that a little. There we go. And I'll fix that later. You didn't need to watch me clean that out. Whoops. As it goes flying. Makes me think of curling. Alright. So now we have our card front ready for the gilded leafing. Alright, so this is the tin. It is very, very full. I will show you here in a minute. And it's very good that they sent it in a plastic bag. You probably can't tell. I don't think there is. But see, there's some on the outside here. So it does get loose a little bit. Alright, so I grabbed, hopefully you can see, I think you can see this, a container with a locking lid. And you could dump the whole thing in if you want, but I wasn't sure how much I'd actually use. So I didn't want to put the whole thing in here. So what you do is take your container, nice and deep would be good, and just open the lid very gently, carefully, and see how much is in there. It is tons. There is lots. So you don't need much. I would suggest putting just a small amount in a container and then putting the rest back, like leave the lid on and put it back in the little zipper bag. So you will be able to do a lot of projects. This might be something to splurge with a friend. It's not very expensive. So I'm just going to toss that up there. All right, so the other thing that you need in order to do this properly, well, you can have a choice. Do I have one? Yes. So we have these sponges. Just going to move these out of my way. So I've cut up our Stampin' sponge and I've used it for ink. They're not my favorite things ever to use, but you can use that. The other thing you can use is a sponge dauber. That one's been chewed on by the dog years and years and years ago. So sponge daubers last a long time. The other thing you could use is one of our blending brushes. So this is one I've used on a Facebook Live before. So you have 3 different options. Any of them, whatever you felt was easiest. I use this one just because it's stuck on my hand. But let's try a blending brush. So what you do is you want to gently put this in and cover the sticky part with the gold. So you just want to put it down And don't be too forceful or else it'll just go poop like so. Get back in there. And what you'll get is this funky looking piece at the front here. So you can take some of the pieces and stick them where they don't go, where they didn't go, and it's very soft and kind of funky. It's really fun to play with. All right, so you have this messy thing, but we want to get this to look like this. How did we do it? What do you think? All right, so we're going to do blending brush this time. So there's just a little bit of glue there, so we'll just move this around. And what you're doing is you're making it stick to the gilded leafing, I should say, stick to the adhesive sheet that's showing through. And then you're rubbing off all the other flakes off so you can use them on another project. So this is one of those ooh and ah, and look at how pretty it is. So you just want to be gentle because you don't want to get it everywhere. Just flick it off a little, right back into your container. Just like so. This is kind of therapeutic. It's kind of cool to see what this does. So just work your way along all the lines. And then brush off the excess. So you don't want that falling off. Okay, just gonna take that out for a second. See if we can get off the little gold pieces. Oh yeah, it comes off really easy peasy. There we go. And so what? You have a little bit of gold for your next project. So I'm just going to take a little bit more, just fix those edges, so just blend it around. And just have fun with it. There we go. I think that is done. Just clean off a little bit off the back here. Clean this off a little. These blending brushes, they're in the mini catalog as well. And I think they're like $16 for 3 or something like that. All right, we're going to look at some prices here. So in the back of the catalog, on pages 83, 84, 85, 86, are all the products. So blending brushes are $16.25, and they're a 3-pack. Whoops, I'm making a mess. So you get a 3-pack. Very versatile, lots you can do with it. The Gilded Leafing is $12.25, and you have that whole big container. All right, so now, here is what you end up with. I think I have a little bit too much on this one corner. So you just want to play around with it a little bit, and just be very careful with it, is all I can say. There. Just had a few pieces stuck on there. Okay, so now, this you can save for another card. Punch some more paper out of your little strips. Get your pieces all together. Try a couple different color combos. And away you go. Alright, so to finish up this card, we want... Where'd my stamp go? Here we go. We want the Art Gallery. And it's a photopolymer set, so you can see through the block, which is awesome. And I'm going to do the same flower I did before. And it fits kind of sideways on block. What block is this? D? Yeah, block D. And then we're going to stamp in, well actually, I couldn't choose. I was trying to decide what color I wanted to use. Mango with the white, to make it pop. And then we're going to cut a piece of Pool Party. Or, I think I like the Night of Navy better. Then we have Night of Navy with the white. I like that better. Okay. I wasn't sure earlier. Okay, so now I'm just going to grab some, I think I'll grab some Pool Party. Or, no, let's do Coastal Cabanas, because that's my card base. And I'll grab my little Stamparatus Deluxe foam mat to stamp on with my Night of Navy sheet so it doesn't get wrecked. Now, we're going to stamp this. And because you can see it through the block, you'll know exactly where you're stamping. Now that turned out pretty dark. That is pretty dark. Okay, trick. Here's a trick for you. So you take another clear block with your ink pad. And you want to just smoosh the ink in. So you will get a little bit of ink on your block, but it's washable. It's okay. You can take your chamois and wash the ink right off. See? All done. And have some re-inkers, because then you won't worry about not having enough ink. Because you do have to re-ink your stamp pads every once in a while. So now, stamping, there's not as much ink on here. And we're just going to stamp this down. There we go. And it will dry lighter. And the ink, because it's stored upside down on my shelf, the ink will come back to the top of that pad. So see the difference between the two? So that was full strength and this is lighter. So partial strength. You could also stamp off if you wanted something that was really, really light. Your choice. All right. So we're going to put that away. And we're going to put a little bit of the liquid glue on the back of this white piece. I'm going to stick it to my Night of Navy. There we go. We are going to take, shouldn't have put the glue away. And on the back of our punched gilded card front, we want to put some glue, because we're going to stick that right down on our card front and, oops, yeah. Put it down. So that way we have that 1/4 inch or that 1/8 of an inch all the way around our card base, so you can see that color. Now if you wanted to cover the whole thing, you could do that right on the card base. I just felt it was a little easier to do it this way. And I have gold leafing everywhere. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to cut. I didn't cut my little piece. I'll cut down here. So it's like 1/2 inch. Something like that. And we're going to stamp using Memento Black. And what should we do? I did Happy Birthday. Let's do Thinking of You. Why not? Oh, that's a really long one though. I don't know if I want one that's that long. Yeah, that still works. Okay. So with photopolymer, I know I did it the other way around with my flowers. It didn't matter as much. But what you want to do is put it down. I want that one. Let's do block D again. And then pick it up. So that way it stays a little more straight, rather than you trying to put it on and then you get it all crooked and wonky and everything. Okay. I think I have a long enough piece here. So we're just going to stamp that kind of center-ish. That works. Clean off our block. Just a couple taps there. Put the stamps back. All right. So now I'm going to take my, let's just use scissors for this. So we're going to do this. And we're going to do this. And we'll grab some mini dimensionals, my favorite dimensionals. Although the black ones, have you seen the black ones? They're pretty cool. And then we'll take some of that liquid glue again, and we'll stick it right in here. Something like that, I think. And then we'll take our dimensionals, take the backing off 2 of the 3. You can do all 3 if you like. Stick down the I'm thinking of you. Oh, look. And so there is an alternative card using the same pack of designer series paper. So this paper right here, using this pack of paper to create 2 different cards. So this here is $15.75 for the pack of paper. You purchase that, and you can create these cards with the blending brushes and the Gilded Leafing. So I'll put a I think I have the link of the blog post that's there. So pop over there, have a look. All the links are there to my shopping site. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And I hope you can join me next Thursday for my next live. Have a great evening. Bye.